Welcome in, everybody. Happy Friday. We in here, Kim. Oh, you are, Chudsy? How cool. Hi, Sharper. Hi, Deborah. Welcome in, everybody. Hi, Lily. Hi, Justin. Happy Friday. Hi, Terry. Hi, Ellie. How's everybody doing? Glad the week's over. How about you? Hi, Possum. Hi, Sasha. Hi, Tracy. How you guys doing? Happy Friday. I'm just sharing it out. If you guys could do me a big favor and share it out as well. If you're on TT, there's a little share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner. Oh my God, that's so cute. Lily, that goat is so cute. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. And then there's a, hi Boone. And there's a yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends, FYPs. And it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Hi, Robin. Oh my gosh, Lily, that one's so cute. Metamorphosis. Thank you, Deborah. That's so cute. So cute. That's okay, Boone. We're so happy to have you back. Thank you, Shells, for the cute rainbow slide. I love that guy. Hi, Lady Rose. Hi, Kim. Welcome in, Kim. Welcome to the porch. Everybody welcome Kim in. She's new. Hi, Skrilla. Thank you, Jake, for the manifesting crystal ball. Hi, Mrs. Trippy. Becca, thank you for the follow and welcome to the porch. Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you so much, Kim. Also, just a heads up to the new Kim. One of my mods and close friends is called Kim. So if you hear me referencing Kim throughout the night and it doesn't make sense to you, I'm probably talking to her. Of course I did, Skrilla. Thank you, Lily. That was cool. I haven't seen that one before. Thank you, Monique, for the cozy cryptids. Happy Friday. Robin, thank you for the bouquet. That's so pretty. I love that. Chess, thanks for Over the Cloud. That's so cute. I know, 5 whole minutes. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Oh So Very Ordinary. Hi, Carol. Welcome in, guys. Happy Friday. Hi, Moist Cookie. Welcome back. Thank you, Jess. Hi, Chorizo Gone Wild. How are you? Nice to see you again. Welcome back. I know, Skrilla. Whoa, Tomato Burst. I haven't seen that one before either, Lily. Yes, Mace. Out on these TT streets. Thank you, Jake. I know, it's a new one, right? It's cool. I love that carriage, Robin. I think it's so cute. Thank you. I love that little pumpkin carriage. Ooh, a torch. Well, these are cool. Thank you, Oh So Very Ordinary. Hi, Lemons. Oh my gosh, I love the little metamorphosis. He's so cute. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm a butterfly. So cute. Thank you, Desiree. Thank you, Leslie. Hi, Sav. Oh, thank you, Chorizo. All right, guys, feel free to write your story requests in all capital letters. And I will write them down and then we will vote on them. Happy Friday. Welcome to the porch. Desiree, thanks for the cute guitar with the birds. Hi, Moonlit Mirror. How you doing, cutie? Welcome in, Carol. Everybody welcome Carol in. She's new. Sleep well, Moonlit Mirror. Thanks for coming to say hi. Sweet dreams. Don't worry, Robin. You're not even late. You're right on time. Thank you, Robin. I love that little cloud. They are cute, right? Oh my gosh, Robin, thank you for the cloud. I love him. I want to slide on that. Robin, you're the sweetest. Thank you. Look how cute he is, you guys. He's like, wee, wee. And he has little sunglasses on that are so cute. Makes me want to go on like a slip and slide or something. Like a water slide. You're my cloud, Skrilla. These are so cute. Can't even handle it. I know he is having fun, right, Deborah? He's like, wee. Really, Sharper? I mean, look at him. Ready? Wee. Wee. I mean, come on. I mean, it's perfect. The new one this week was Poplar Creek. You know what I kind of do, Skrilla? You're right. Thank you, Rachel. I thought it was great voiceover. Wait, here we go. Wee! Uh-oh. Lovely. Gotta get on it. She's been really busy this week. I'm surprised, though. She's usually so on top of it. Yeah, the giggle. Wee! You? Wee! Meow. That is so cute. Thank you so much. Thanks, Robin. I loved Crocodile Mile. I loved Crocodile Mile. I know, right? Like, look how cute he is. And his little glasses. Oh, thank you, Sharper. Look at him. Oh, he got up there. He got those little balloons. I like how his glasses are like cat eye, kind of. Look, they have a little wing on the end. They're so cute. Oh, I don't have a sound effect for that one yet. Broop. I don't know. I don't get that one very often. I haven't made up a sound effect for that one yet. Wee. Oop. Oop. Oh, here I go. How was that? Was that good? I should have been like boing, boing, boing. Wee, I started doing sound effects to the cloud guy, and then I got like 30 of them from Robin. You're so cute, Robin. You're so funny. Oh, the tiki, Deborah. Thank you. Wee. Sharper, please. Sharper said, I'm sure you'll perfect it like everything else. Have you seen me try to do math? I know, right? The cloud's so cute. Having a way more fun than all of us. I want to be that cloud. Throw myself down a slip and slide that's fun like that. Also, if you haven't done it yet, feel free to write your request in the chat. And for the YouTube, the YT people over there, Carol said you're adorable. YT people over there, sorry, I was getting a bunch of gifts with this little cloud jumping down a slide. So that's what the sound effects you're hearing are. He's really cute. Oh, seahorses, I love them. Seahorse, seahorse. Squirrel. He's not wrong. Yes, today we learned about a sunken city. Oh, yes, Pens by Carol. I am on YT as well. Hi, Beefy. Oh, thanks for the watermelon slide, Rach. Thank you, Robin. That's so cute. Awesome. That would be cooler. All right, you guys, I'll be right back with the first poll. And if you are new here, welcome in. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all of these stories myself. So if you'd like to listen to them when I'm not live, you can find me on YT or any of the podcast streaming sites. And on my YT channel, I have a playlist called Bedtime Stories, where you can fall asleep to all of these stories. I also have a playlist called the Unexplained series, which is 30-minute episodes with me in them explaining actually unexplained phenomenon that has been documented, like reincarnation and Tesla's research and UFO sightings from the CIA, Project Blue Book, all kinds of stuff like that. So you get a little bit of everything. Hi, Wilkins. Hi, James. Hi, DW. I'll be right back with the first poll. Also, if you haven't done it yet, check out the merch. We've got lots of cute Porch Pal merch. Even if you don't want to buy anything, I think you guys will get a kick out of the funny stuff I've made, and I put a lot of effort into it, and I think you guys will like it. So it's just Porch Lore and then .and-store. Hi, Dirk. Thank you, Justin. You got your ears pierced, yeah? Awesome. right, guys, I'll be right back. Happy Friday. Possum over on YT thought those noises I was making, she thought I was playing with Merlin. And yes, I go where I wanna. Jade's she was live like an hour ago at the beach. She's out of town on a beachy trip. Shells, thanks for the seal. All right, guys, the first pull is ready. We have Poplar Creek, which is the new story of the week. We have Haint Blue. We have Eliza Crawford's Ghost, which Margaret, that's the one you asked for, just so you know. We have Rain Crow Shelter. And we have the Third Man's Cave. Empath Tarot, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Jess, thank you for the cozy cryptids. All right, you guys can vote in the top left-hand corner. There is a blue box. You can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. Hi, Miriam. We have Poplar Creek, Haint Blue, Eliza Crawford's Ghost, Rain Crow Shelter, and Third Man's Cave. Who's it gonna be? Thank you, Mace. Scrawl. I'm just trying to make sure you're okay, Scrawl. Tough ones, Bisbee. Tough ones. Tell Merlin you said meow, meow, meow. I will. Shells, thanks for the cute ice cream. Aw, Meg, hi. My favorite one, Punjab, is The Hitchhiker. Bisbee, really, though. I mean, when someone's like, well, my shoulder hurts in my chest. Come on, what would you think? I'd be like, oh my God, heart attack. It wasn't discovered by archaeologists, but it's a true thing, and I think you have it right now. Poor Eliza. Poor Eliza. And you know what's funny is I'm starting to get to know you guys, and I absolutely knew that this story would win. Aw, goat. Thanks, Country Raven. I knew with that lineup, I knew the cave story would win, because you guys have heard all of the other ones too recently. Oh, Rach, you are so cute. You guys, Rach always comes over to YT and gives me a donation and puts Merlin's treat fund on it. It's so cute. I love it. You're so sweet. Yeah, she said, tell Merlin his treats are on the way. She's the cutest. You're so sweet. The baby goat is so cute. I know. Thank you, Country Raven. That's adorable. I know. Isn't it cute? She puts Merlin's treat fund, and I tell him about it every time, and I'm not gonna lie, he always like puts his head back, like I swear he knows what I'm saying, and he feels very cool about it. He's always like, oh my God. Yep, he knows. All right, guys, so the winner is Third Man's Cave. And fun fact, the people in this story with me, 3 out of the 4 girls in this story with me will be getting together in Lake Tahoe to celebrate my birthday next month. That's right, you guys. Carrie and Casey, the infamous twins from the cave, are gonna come meet me and Taylor at Taylor's house in Lake Tahoe. You can come meet up with us. So we will have 3 out of the 4 from the cave. Unfortunately, we had to reschedule, and Taylor rescheduled it for the weekend that is Allie's birthday, and Allie is the other girl in the cave with us, so she will not be joining. Yes. Well, it's my birthday now, yeah. We don't need to add the word fake to the front of it, okay? Do you, Freedom? I've never been, and one of my best friends has literally lived there for like 7 years now or something crazy, and I have not been still, so I'm finally going. But yes, it's actually my fake birthday on the 27th, which is like what, next week? And that was when we originally scheduled it, but then we had to reschedule, and we moved it to August. So 3 of the 4 girls in this story I will actually be reuniting with in Tahoe, and hopefully nothing like this story happens. Grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax. Check out the shooting stars, and welcome to the porch. Happy Friday. And if you guys could do me a big favor and hit that share arrow. There's a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow our beautiful porch. And yes, new story coming on Monday. If you were in Kim's live this evening, you got a hint on what it's about. And I don't usually do that. You guys know I don't usually give clues on what I'm covering every week, because it depends. It really depends. Sometimes I think I'm going to do one topic, and then I cannot come up with a good story about it. So I changed my mind and I pick a different one. So kind of like, remember when the gin thing, I stopped telling you guys what the new story was going to be after the gin because I wasn't ready and I had to research it more and I had to do a different topic and then I felt stupid. So now I don't give it away anymore. But this week, some of you might know already. Yeah, was there. She knows the tea. Yeah. And it's a cool one. And it's a spooky one. Andrew, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Anyway, thank you for sharing to your stories, sharing with your friends, reposting, all of those. And thanks for all the taps. I'll be right back. Happy Friday. Hi, Ian. Really, Rachel? Oh my gosh. Is someone in the story with me? No. I actually space out the guests. But it was recommended to me by a porch pal, so I do mention the porch pal that recommended the story to me in the beginning of the story. Yes, it's a lone wolf one. And yes, except for when I did 2 bends in a row. Skrilla. Didn't it win last night, Skrilla? Pretty sure it did. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, I have a technical thing over here. I'll be right back. Thanks, Aunt Sashi. And Sharper, are you still in here? Thank you, Latina Mamasaurus. Hi, Dave. And yes, because of the ding I got the other day for low resolution and blurry images from the older story screenshots that I told you guys about if you were here. The original stories I first started reading, I just screenshotted from the actual YT video and made them smushed to fit the screen. TT is not happy with those, so you will be seeing I have remade most of them. This one, however, I have not put my graphics on yet. That's why I struggled to find it for a minute, because it is not in the finished folder, because this one's not finished yet. So you will see there is not the normal spooky story graphics that I have, but a lot of the stories are getting a makeover. Thanks, Kim. They're still very similar to the originals, but so that you should be able to recognize them if you're looking for them on YT by the thumbnails. You will still see a cave with girls like this, but it will look a little different. But I'm trying to match them up as best I can so you guys can still find them visually if you're looking for one of the stories. So this is a new background, as there are 8 or 9 others that I have made this week so that we don't get in trouble when you guys request them. And I just panicked a little bit because I realized that this one won and this one isn't done. So that was the technical thing. Quick swig and I'll be right back. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Palace Society. This is the tale of the Third Man's Cave. Thank you, Lily. Oh, Solange, you confused me. Hey, girl, hey. I think you need to put your hearts back or something, or no one's gonna know it's you. Guys, this is Solange. She changed her name, FYI. Hi, Jade. Thank you for letting us know, because we get really confused. Robin changed a couple symbols the other day, and Justin thought she was a new person for 2 days. So, thank you for telling us. Oh, yeah, 7 days. That's okay. I get it, girl. It started as the perfect day trip. The 5 of us had been planning it for weeks. A long hike through a beautiful park nestled deep in a dense forest. The kind of place with miles of trees, winding trails, and that total sense of escape from the rest of the world. We planned to start early, explore all day, and be back at our cars by nightfall. After that, we'd drive to a cute little Airbnb that we'd reserved nearby. Simple, easy. The weather forecast had been clear, at least the night before, so we didn't give it another thought that morning. Backpacks loaded with snacks, water, and hiking essentials, we hit the trail in high spirits. Taylor, always the comedian, cracking jokes the entire time, while Casey, our quiet observer, stopped constantly to photograph trees and flowers. Carrie was the caretaker, making sure everyone stayed hydrated and reapplied sunscreen. And Allie, the most organized of us, led the way with a map in hand. We were laughing, talking, completely immersed in nature, when the first rumble of thunder caught us off guard. It was a low and distant growl, like a warning. Allie stopped and looked up at the sky, frowning. And she asked if anyone had checked the weather again this morning. Of course, none of us had. The forecast had been clear, so we hadn't thought twice about it. Now the sky was darkening fast, heavy clouds rolling in far quicker than I expected. Casey suggested we keep moving, and we all agreed. Not long after, the rain started. Just a light sprinkle at first, but it didn't stay that way. Within minutes, it turned into a steady downpour. The trees towered over us, and suddenly the trail felt exposed instead of comforting. We picked up the pace, but the ground became slick with mud. And no matter how good your hiking boots are, fresh, wet mud makes it almost impossible to keep your footing. About 15 minutes later, the rain intensified into something much worse. It felt like the sky had opened up completely. Water pooled on the trail and then began rushing downhill in fast-moving streams. Soon it was pushing against our ankles, and Allie almost fell over. So we stopped and we huddled together, heads down, trying to figure out what to do while keeping each other steady. It became painfully clear that we were in a flash flood zone, and we needed shelter, fast. I don't know if you've ever been in a flash flood, but there's really nothing you can do except take shelter, or ride the water. The wind whipped violently through the trees, and I swear the forest sounded like it was shifting. Taylor had gone completely silent. This wasn't funny anymore. That's when I spotted something through the rain, a rocky outcrop on the hillside. I pointed it out, hoping against hope that it might be a cave. It was our only option. As we got closer, we saw it clearly, a small dark opening carved into the hill. It wasn't inviting, but it was shelter. And without hesitation, we ducked in one by one, the storm still raging behind us. The air inside was damp and cold, and the walls were rough, jagged stone, The opening had a slight overhang and offered a narrow view of the forest beyond. Etched into the rock were remnants of old fire marks. It appeared that this cave had been used for centuries before we did. We couldn't see how far the cave extended. My inadequate flashlight beam didn't reach that far back. Plus, I was soaked and freezing, and spelunking was not really on my list of priorities. The cave wasn't comfortable, but it was dry. We huddled together, shivering. Casey scanned the cave entrance. She said the place was creepy, and we all agreed. But it was kind of cool. There were old symbols carved into the walls of the cave. It was obvious that we weren't the first people to take shelter here. Carrie unpacked some snacks, trying to lift our spirits. She said it was just a storm, and we'd wait it out and be on our way. But the storm didn't ease. If anything, it got worse. Wind howled outside, and rain began blowing into the cave entrance. We scooted further back. Allie refused to sit with her back facing the darkness. And then we heard a soft, rhythmic sound. At first, it sounded like water dripping from the ceiling. Eerie, but explainable. But then it became clearer, more deliberate, and it didn't sound like water anymore. It sounded like footsteps. Slow, steady, coming from deeper inside the cave. Carrie whispered, asking what was that, and none of us answered. And the sound came closer. As we sat there, I kept thinking about the history of the place. Long ago, before the park existed, there had been a small settlement there. The settlers had dug into the hills, looking for resources, and they just served something sacred. And then people started disappearing, and strange creatures were reported at night. And then one day, the entire village vanished. The land is said to be cursed. And that's when the footsteps stopped, right at the cave entrance. We sat in silence for what felt like forever, as the storm thundered outside. Eventually, Allie suggested that maybe the noise had been an animal, but none of us really believed that. After a while, we decided that we might have to sleep there, and we agreed to explore the rest of the cave to see what we were dealing with. Carrie volunteered to go first, inadequate flashlight in hand. The cave split into two paths deeper in, and without realizing it, we lost track of which direction she went. Taylor and I explored one tunnel while Allie and Casey took the other. And then we saw Carrie's flashlight at the end of our tunnel, so we called out to her. But she didn't respond. When we regrouped with Allie and Casey, they came out with Carrie. Confused, Taylor and I ran back down our tunnel where we had seen her with her light. But she was gone, and the tunnel didn't connect. What the hell? Who was down the other tunnel? That was enough. We returned to the front of the cave and we just waited out the storm. From that point on, Carrie was different. Her voice became flatter and her eyes were empty and weird. She looked like someone who had just woken up and hadn't fully remembered who they were yet. We left the cave before the rain fully stopped and we hiked back to the cars. All of us were shaken. And Allie suggested that maybe Carrie had been exposed to some type of mold or something in the cave. When we asked Carrie for the Airbnb address, the one that she had booked, she stared at us and asked, "What's an Airbnb?" What? And that's when real fear set in. We figured she had a head injury. At the cabin, Carrie left her belongings in the car and wandered into the backyard. She was running her hands along the siding like she was feeling a cabin for the first time. Later, we found Carrie standing naked in the dark bathroom, smiling at herself in the mirror with a wide, unnatural grin. When Casey tried to examine her for head trauma, because they're both nurses, Carrie growled at her. And that was when we locked down for the night, and we all went to our own separate rooms. The next morning, Carrie and Casey were gone. No bags, no phones, no trace of them. Where could they have gone? Someone get the Florida water for sure, yeah. When we finally reached them by phone, they told us that they were in Kansas, where they're from, and that they had always been in Kansas. They had never gone on a trip, never hiked with us, and never been in a cave. They didn't remember any of it. What the fuck? The only explanation I can find is something that hikers call third man syndrome. It's a phenomenon where unseen presence appears during traumatic wilderness events to guide or comfort people. Sometimes they look like a loved one or a best friend. I don't know what we encountered that day, but I do know this. I thought we went into that cave with 5 people, but we came out with something that didn't belong with us. So if you ever find yourself deep in the woods, caught in a storm, remember this. Not all shelters are empty, and not all of them are safe. And that's the tale of the third man's cave. And that's actually a shortened version because the story is almost 30 minutes long. It does have sound effects for the storm, the cave dripping water, everything like that. It's one of the only stories that has sound effects added to it. I spent a lot of time on it because it is including 4 of my best friends. So if you guys want to listen to the full version of the story with all of the sound effects and the 28-minute version, check it out on my YT. I think it's something like National Park Cave or something. You'll recognize the picture of the girls in the cave. But yeah, the ones on YT all have added features. I'm just reading them live over here. That's the main event. My YT is my main event. I just come over here to read them live for you guys. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Misty. Thank you, Jess. Thanks, DNC. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore, and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all of these stories myself, and you can listen to them whenever you... Oh, thanks, Jess. He's so cute. Hi, Lady Far. And you can listen to them whenever you would like on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. So all of the big podcast streaming sites, yes, Porch Lore and my stories are on there, as well as playlists on YT that will help you fall asleep. Hi, Emily, you're just on time. And Possum, the inadequate one is I only say that in the lives. It's kind of like a running joke. But if you listen to the recordings on YT, none of the flashlights are inadequate. I only say that for the lives, just to be funny. Good night, Misty. Sweet dreams. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Dave, but if you tell me here, it's probably not a secret. Also, Robin, why is un amor prohibido? Huh? I didn't say biblioteca, okay? I did a pretty good job. I know what that means. I know what un amor prohibido means. Prohibited love, duh. I took Latin. I know the base words for things. Aw, thank you, Courtney. Hi, Thomas. Oh, because he takes too many car selfies. He's never... I mean, his profile picture's one, but I've never seen a car selfie. He's never sent me a car selfie. You just said duh to your friend too. I love that. Oh, scroll up. I missed your secret. Damn it. And realized eventually what? It didn't finish the sentence. It says, you've gone on my YT channel too many times and gone to reply and realized eventually. What? Good night, Lily. Sweet dreams. We love you. See you tomorrow. Also, guys, don't forget if you'd like to join us tomorrow during the day, Kim does do paranormal marathons on Saturdays. We hang out all day. And when I say all day, I mean all day. Like, I set my phone on a stand in my earbud with my tapper on, and I work on my stories and hang out all day. So and then I literally take them to the store with me to get food with me all day on Saturday. I'll be like, hold on, y'all, I'm in Costco. Literally. So if you guys want to join us, we have a lot of fun. It's where a lot of the inside jokes we talk about come from, like the inadequate flashlight and the stylized toadstool and the landlocked elemental. And God, a lot of them. So if you want to join us tomorrow, she goes live at, Kim, help me out. Is it 12 Eastern? I just wait till she texts me and says, I'm live. And then I go, okay, yes, ma'am. And I just jump on her live. Is it 12? 9 Pacific. So, yep. So 9 Pacific, 12 Eastern. And she's a hoot and a holler, y'all. She's funny. It's real funny. So be sure to give her a follow. And you can join us tomorrow. We pretty much cackle and roast paranormal investigators. Yeah, and we close out every night with Bone Crusher. And that's part of that's literally the reason I'm late sometimes, is because I have to do T.I.'s part of the song. And I can't miss it. Because I'll take your cookies. Yeah, Lady Rose is buckling up for tomorrow. We are doing a marathon of Hellier Season 2. If you guys know what we went through when they finally let the white girl in the group introduce a show, I was like, okay, I have a suggestion. They're like, okay. I was still new to the group. They put it in. We spent a whole Saturday watching it, and by the end, we were traumatized. And we were like, what should we do? And they were like, I just wasted my whole damn set. And we were all like, what is going on? What was that? What the actual? And then we spent another whole week watching the second, hoping it would there'd be retribution. No, it was even worse. And guess what? So many jokes came out of it that so many people want to watch it again that we're putting ourselves through it all over again. And every time I've brought up suggesting something else, they're like, nope, Devin suggested Hellier. Remember? She's responsible for Hellier. But hey, I also brought us Chandler and Dawson, okay? And I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, why are those the most 90s TV names I've ever heard in my life? And Dawson didn't end up in the creek. Exactly, happily. Pop the trunk, girl. Wait, who ended up in the ground? Skrilla said came in the room smelling like Hellier chair. You have a 5-year-old nephew named Dawson? Yeah, I love Dawson and Chandler. They're so cute. They're they're two investigators. Hi, Shadow. I am. Sup? The chair. I know. I love how Skrilla brought up the chair. Well played, sir. Because we had chairs. Literally one of the worst parts of the whole show. Skrilla Skrill is like the chair. Yeah, Dave, you have to change the wording or put stars in places to hide certain words. Yes, I am, Shadow. Exactly, Chris. Oh my God, Chris, you just can't. That's the perfect timing. Chris says, not my chia, not my problem. I love you guys. Not my chia, not my problem. Mr. Walkway. Lead me to the building. Fuck you. Mr. Balloon Hands. Look at those things. I never pay for no floor. Never again. Who does he think he is, Captain Tying Knots? Everybody, you need a knot tied, everybody goes to him. Happily, I'm near the smoke and fires. It's bad. All right, guys, I'm going to set up the next poll so we can vote. Welcome to the porch. Happy Friday. And if you don't know what I was just quoting like a weirdo, you give it a Google while I set up the next poll. It is called Drinking Out of Cups. You will see a lizard in a indigenous chief headdress. That's the right one. You might be like, no, that can't be it. Yep, it's that one. And you're welcome. And yes, it's very hard to breathe for me too, Shadow. I am only about 45 minutes from Ontario, and it has been rough. Hi, Marilyn. Welcome back. How you doing? Yeah, I'm glad I don't have asthma for sure. But it is definitely like making my voice a little raspier. But that happens in the winter anyway, because it's so dry in the winter. But this is literally no different than like my sleepy voice. Like when I get really tired, I sound like this. So it's not really that different. And yes, if you have asthma, please do not mess around with going out in the smoke. And asthma is taken lightly, but it can be lethal. I know when the hotline bling, it can only mean one thing. I sound like Hotline Bling. Is there a girl in that? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, true, Skrilla. True. I know. Waby hasn't gotten to go outside in 3 days. My poor Waby. He needs to prowl. I know, Jade. He needs to prowl. You know what he did tonight? I took the trash out and he ran out the back door. And then the giant thunderstorm was coming and he thought he'd be slick. And I was like, bro, you can't be out there. What is your problem? Merlin. And then he heard a huge thunderclap and he ran right back to the door and he's like, sorry, Mom. I got bold for a minute. You developed asthma from pneumonia? Oh my goodness. Oh, you mean I sound like a girl that would be a Hotline Bling girl? Yes. You know what's funny is I've actually been offered a job doing that from Vivid. True story. Like numerous times. The dude he'd come to my work and ask me to work for Vivid all the time. And back then, you know what? I don't even know why I didn't do it. Nobody would know who I was, but I was like, do
It's bad.
Now I'm like, damn, I'd be rich. I'd be rich as fuck. But it's cool. But no, like not even Hotline Kim, like a voiceover for, you know, like not a hotline. Yeah, no, not like a hotline person. I'd be like ADR. Like audio voiceover. Exactly, Kim. Skrilla said I can do voiceover for Revenge of the Nerds. Good night, Ellie. We'll see you tomorrow. Love ya. Really though, Kim, it's not like anybody would know who I was, and it's not like I'd be touching anybody. I know, Shadow. I think it's supposed to start getting better. I don't know, tomorrow. We had rain tonight, so I'm hoping maybe that helps, but I don't know. Did you guys get rain? Because we did. We just had a major storm. Oh yeah, thanks, Bree. Yeah, I knew what it meant, but I don't know what they were talking about. My mic's name is Shirley Skrilla. Shirley Chords. Exactly, Kim. I know, they're both so funny. They're both two of the funniest people I've ever known, Jade. I'm not even kidding. They are both so funny. Thank you, Sherry, for the hand hearts. Hi, Joanne. On Indeed. Thanks, Marilyn. Jade, I didn't see your pinned comment. Sorry. All right, you guys, the next poll is ready. We have Poplar Creek, which is the new story of the week. We have The Dark Road Encounter. We have Eliza Crawford's Ghost. We have The Black Dog of Hanging Hills. And we have The Crawl Space. And you can vote in the top left-hand corner. You can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. Who's it gonna be? Oh, Shadow, no, I'm in Northwest Ohio. I'm not in Columbus. I'm like closer to Detroit. Like I'm like right on the line of Michigan. Kinetic, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. And thank you guys for the keywords tonight. I didn't even have to ask. You guys are so sweet. I love you guys so much. Thank you. Hi, Kopi. Thank you, Maureen. Thank you, Jenna. That club power was cute. And thanks for the club victory. And the club cheers. I love those. And thanks for the populars. Oh, thanks, Robin. Yes, Northwest Ohio. But I'm actually from North Carolina. And Courtney, I use I use a program called dvid, and I'm not gonna lie, it sucks. It uses like all of my generations every month just to get like one usable video. I don't recommend it. Oh yeah, Shadow, I'm from North Carolina. Yeah, it sucks because I got like the lowest tier. So those programs all do that, and they try to get you to just use all your generations. You're like, man, I guess I need more generations for this month, when it just didn't do what I asked for like the first 5. And I'm not an idiot. It's just a ripoff site. But it did produce the porch. It made us this beautiful porch. Can it ever make it again? No. So this is what we've got. And if we ever have to redo the porch, it's going to have to be a brand new one because it cannot replicate. It sucks. So I don't recommend it. But there are lots of good ones out there. They're just very expensive. And yes, Shadow, North Carolina was an amazing place to grow up. I miss it all the time. I loved living there. It was just wonderful. And yes, the people are much kinder than the people in Ohio. All right, guys, the winner is Crawl Space. Oh, really, Rich? You know, they say that, Shadow, because the state is shaped like a heart. Not because the people have kind hearts, but, you know, I like where your mind's at. And yes, Mace, how'd you know? This story is based off of an X-Files character that scared me. Because yes, I am an X-Files girly. Might not look like it, but I'm a nerd. And I love Mulder and Scully. Robin, I lived in Greensboro, not Ville. Not Vole, Burr. Greensboro. I lived in the foothills. Greenville's the beach. I lived the other side. The foothills of the mountains of Appalachia. There you go, Justin. Eugene Toombs. So buckle up, guys. This is one of my scarier stories, according to y'all. So, I'll be right back. And if you guys could do me a big favor and hit that share arrow in the bottom right hand corner, there is a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Also sharing to your stories and sharing with your friends helps too. And thank you to everybody. Oh, Possum, you're a Tar Heel too? Girl, no wonder your name's Possum. I mean, there you go. Well, the first thing I said was, I love your name, Possum the cat. How cute. I love good possum. Of course, you're from North Carolina. I love that. Meg, you were stuck on replay. Oh, no. I know, because they all look the same. Sometimes you click on the wrong one. I've done that before, too. All right, guys. Grab a beanbag chair. Grab a hammock. Sit back and relax. And welcome to the porch. Happy Friday. Melanie, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Good night, Jade. Love you. Good night, Katie, Jade's friend. Good, Meg. It's been perfect. Last night was perfect, too. Also, guys, Crawl Space is another one of these stories that has a new background. So just give me 1 second. Good, Robin. That's what I was going for. But it's still similar enough, right, to the original, right? I'm trying to make them close to the originals, but a little better. Really, Shadow? My friend Erica said the same thing. It looks like her house. Oh my God, Meg, no, it's not you. It was those gifts, and I learned how to turn them off. It wasn't you at all. You're so silly. Hi, Eilish. Oh, thanks, Mace. Thanks, Lady Rose. Thanks, Misty. I had to make them crisper. TT was yelling at me about my old backgrounds. Thank you, Gemini. You're just in time, Matt. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the crawl space. Eilish, you're so funny. When I was 21, I rented a house in rural Tennessee for the summer. It was the kind of place you picture in a faded photograph. Wide front porch, paint peeling and soft curls. A yard full of tall grass and wild mint. It sat on a plot of land that used to be part of a larger farm. But the property had been split and sold in patches. The house was old, and I mean really old. Wooden floorboards, one bathroom, and a stove that hissed like it had secrets. I found it listed on a message board for college students. And I needed a cheap place to stay while working for a local historical society cataloging Civil War records. I should have known something was off when the landlord gave me the key in a Walgreens parking lot. He told me he didn't go there much anymore. Yes, Nanya. He looked tired, like he hadn't slept in days. And when I asked if the area was safe, he said the neighbors mostly kept to themselves. I never saw any neighbors. The house was secluded, nestled between overgrown hedgerows and thick woods. The air was heavy with humidity, and the chirp of cicadas never stopped. It felt like the kind of place where time hiccuped. There were no streetlights, no mailboxes, just a gravel driveway and silence so thick it buzzed in my ears. The first few days were uneventful. Other than the sheer isolation, I was spending most of my time scanning old documents in the back office of the town's tiny museum and driving back at dusk. Thank you, Tanya. And that's when the place started feeling off. Not haunted, not in the way you'd think, just off. And it started with the crawl space. There was a square vent cut into the floor of the hallway. One of those old school access points to the house's foundation. The first time I noticed it, I assumed it was just an old vent. But when I leaned down to look, I saw a rusted latch on the wooded panel. It wasn't a vent, it was a door. A crawl space hatch. I tried to open it just out of curiosity, but the thing wouldn't budge. I figured it had been sealed shut by time or moisture. But that night, as I laid in bed, I heard something move beneath the floorboards. It wasn't the usual creaks or groans of an old house settling. This was deliberate. A slow, dragging motion. A rhythmic scrape, and then a pause, and then another scrape. I convinced myself it was raccoons or maybe a possum, but when I went outside with my inadequate flashlight and looked around the foundation, I didn't see any gaps or entry points. Everything was sealed tight. Thank you, Oh So Very Ordinary. Thank you, Valentina. The next night, the scraping came again. Closer this time. Hi, Maria. The third night, I heard it while I was awake. Sitting on the couch, sipping tea, trying to read. The scraping started from the far end of the house near the back bedroom, and it moved steadily forward, right beneath the floorboards. I held my breath. My eyes were fixed on the crawl space hatch across the room. It was dead silent for a few seconds, and then I heard it, just once, the creak of the latch. I slept in my car that night. The next morning, I brought a hammer inside and I tried prying open the hatch again. And this time it lifted. Not easily, but enough that I could slide it back and reveal the square black hole beneath the floor. A wooden ladder led down into the dark, but the rungs were rotted and I couldn't see more than a few feet down. I lowered my phone with its inadequate flashlight on, and that's when I saw it. There was a mattress down there. A twin-size old stained thing shoved against the dirt wall. Nearby, there was a rusted folding chair, an empty gallon jug, and what looked like a crumpled flannel shirt. It was a room. Someone had been living under the house. I slammed the hatch shut and I nailed it down. I should have called the police, but the truth is, I didn't know what to tell them. There were no signs of forced entry, no threats. Nothing technically criminal, just a sense of growing dread that clung to everything. After that, I started noticing little things. My dish towel would be damp when I hadn't used it. My shampoo bottle would be in a slightly different spot. Once I found my toothbrush wet and I hadn't brushed my teeth yet that day. I started locking my bedroom door at night, even though I knew that wouldn't stop someone determined enough. I even pushed a dresser in front of it too, just in case. But the scraping didn't stop. One night I woke up to the sound of something breathing on the other side of the wall. Slow, steady, shallow breaths. Like someone trying not to be heard. I pressed my ear to the drywall, barely breathing, and I could hear it. Faint but unmistakable. Someone was inside the wall. As soon as the sun came up, I drove back to town. And I asked my supervisor at the Historical Society if anyone had records on the old farm property. She looked surprised and she said that it had belonged to the Tullis family for generations, but it was sold off in pieces in the 1990s. I asked if anyone had lived there recently, and she said no, that it had been vacant for at least 15 years before I moved in. She even joked that I was brave for staying out there alone. Thanks. I stopped sleeping altogether after that. I started keeping a hammer next to my bed, and I stopped using the shower and I just bathed at the gym in town. I even bought one of those cheap door alarms from the hardware store and I rigged it to the crawl space latch, just in case. It went off 2 nights later. The screech of that alarm jolted me out of a half sleep around 3 a.m. And I barely had time to grab the hammer before I saw the crawl space door slam shut. When I got there, the latch was broken off entirely and there was a smell of musky earth and something like sweat and rotted leaves. I didn't go back to sleep. I sat in the middle of the living room with the hammer clutched in my hand, waiting for the sun. The next morning, I packed my bags and I left. I didn't care about the rest of the lease. I didn't care about my deposit. I just wanted out. But here's the part that makes my skin crawl. A week after I moved out, I got a call from the local sheriff's office. They'd been doing a welfare check on the house after reports of a break-in. When they entered, they found the place trashed. The worst part was they found the crawl space, and there was a trap door dug into the dirt. And beneath it, they found a tunnel, hand dug, just wide enough for someone to crawl through. And it led directly beneath my bedroom. Inside the tunnel, they found food wrappers, empty pill bottles, a collection of women's personal items, my personal items. Lipstick, socks, even a single earring that I thought I had lost. The tunnel had been active recently. And whoever it was, they had been living under my house. And they left, but not before leaving a message scratched into the underside of the crawl space door that said, "Stay." I tried to forget about it, I really did. But here's the twist. The part that made me write all of this down. 2 weeks ago, I moved into a new apartment in a different state. Top floor, secure, big building, new locks. And everything felt fine. Until I came home from work one day. And I noticed the vent above the bathroom door was slightly ajar. So I grabbed a stool and I looked inside. There was something shiny wedged in the corner. So I pulled it out. And it was a single red earring. The matching one. The one that I never lost. And now I hear the scraping again. Only this time, it's coming from above. And that's the tale of the crawl space, inspired by Eugene Toombs from the X-Files, because he was creepy as shit. And he traveled through vents, and I hated it. And also, yes, locking the bedroom door would still make me feel safer because the crawl space doesn't go under the bedroom, just his tunnel. But he couldn't, like, get into the room through it. He just tunneled and would listen to me under there. He couldn't, like, get into my room. I mean, I guess if he shoveled through the floor of my bedroom like a mole or something. Hi, Alex. Welcome in. Oh, thank you, Maria. Yes, it is a favorite of the Porch Pals. It is one of the favorite stories. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Friday. Oh my gosh, Robin, thank you. Those are so cute. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Boop, boop. Pew. Yeah. Boing, boing. Pew. Boing, boing. Pew. Thank you, Matt. That's sweet. It is almost midnight here. Haley, it's 11:54. 11:54. Thanks, Matt. Oh, the swan. Thank you, Arcangelo. Justin, thanks for the cozy cryptids. Whoop, boom, boom, ew. Bloop, bloop, cute. Boing, boing, woo. The cloud gifts are so cute. They're so cute. Meowdy birder. All right, guys. Hi, Fletcher. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'll grab a beanbag chair and relax. Yeah, you are, Robin. I'm in the future, I guess. Good night, Deborah. Thanks for being here. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow. Sweet dreams. Robin, thanks for all the cute clouds. I really appreciate it. All right, you guys, I'm going to set up the next poll for us to vote. Hi, Songbird. And I'll be right back. Happy Friday. Yes, AMG. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Oh, Tombs was so gross. Me too, AMG. That's why I did this story, because like he was one of the only characters that like really affected me. Like I did not like it. Like he creeped. Like most of the other ones, it's a creepy show, but like whatevs. That one, I was like not liking Vince for a while after that. I was like, ugh. Like I just like he got to in my head. You know what I mean? Like he was creepy. His eyes. Yeah, Matt. Yeah. The yell. Yeah, his eyes. It was so. If you guys have not seen X-Files, Crawl Space is based off of a character called Eugene Toombs. I highly recommend watching it if you want to be horrified for the rest of your life. Because that was one of my earlier stories too. Like as soon as I started writing these stories, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna write one about somebody like that creep. Yeah, same AMG. It was just that whole. Because he was in more than one episode too. Like they brought him back because you know that he was so scary. Like, Graham said, imagine a full contact cuddle with Eugene. Oh God, ew, no. Justin, which one's that? Which one's, I don't know like all the names of them, but which one was that? Because I've watched it enough. I know all of the episodes. I just don't know the names. Like I've watched it so many times. And yes, Archangela, you should. I've rewatched it so many times over the years, and it's just, I swear it gets better every time. Yeah, exactly. He got a second episode, Matt. Yeah, and he tried to frame Mulder. But most of those characters did not get another episode. It was very rare that he got another episode. Only a couple other people did. Faust. Where is Faust? Surprised he's not in here trying to tell Justin how delicious he is. Thank you, Scott. Woo! Hi, Leslie. Okay, you guys, the next story is ready. The next poll is ready. We have Poplar Creek, Highway 666, The Water Babies, The Flatwoods Monster, and The Unexpected Visitors. You can vote in the blue box in the top left-hand corner, and you can vote for more than one story, and you can vote up to 50 times. Who's it gonna be? Oh my God, really, Robin? I love that even more. I'll probably do that because my family still celebrated in November. So to be fair, I am going to have two as well. So I love that because she didn't like having it in the cold weather, right? Because me too, girl. Me too. Oh, Lana, I love that. That's so good. That's my whole goal, is to have you guys snoozing and wake up and be like, what the hell? Because that means you got good sleep. You actually like just passed out. Like you got your nervous system let you shut down and go to sleep, which is awesome. Makes me so happy. Matt, thanks for the fireworks. I love those. I love the colors they picked for the fireworks. They're so pretty. I feel like fireworks aren't really those colors very often. Misty, no, that is not Brenda. That is an Are You Afraid of the Dark reworking that Lady Rose requested. Robin, it's still cold here in April. Thank you, Scott. Wee, wee, wee. Yeah, that one features Justin, yeah. She said, shh, not in South Alabama. Well, and it's not cold in April everywhere. It's usually spring most places, but where I live right now, it's still very much cold in April, unfortunately. All right, the winner is the Unexpected Visitors. And that is an Are You Afraid of the Dark reworking. And I'll be right back with that. And if you guys could do me a big favor while I'm getting that pulled up, if you could hit that share arrow in the bottom right hand corner, there is a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Also, sharing to your stories and sharing with your friends helps too. You can also unrepost and re-repost throughout the night. It just kind of restarts the algorithm. You can undo it and redo it. Also, thank you to everybody who is tapping the screen. I appreciate it. And I'll be right back with the tale of the Unexpected Visitors. Hi, Rev. Thank you, Songbird. Wee-oo, wee-oo, wee-oo. Thanks, Cats and Coffee. Did it, Nate? Hi, Megan. Hi, Leo and Lucy. Congratulations, Howie. Hi, Mary. We love you. That's so funny, Rev. Yes, Mermaid, we have Discord. Justin, will you share the Discord link for Mermaid? We have a lot of fun in there. Thank you. Yeah. This picture actually took me a while to get it the way I wanted it. And this is a reworking of an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. Yeah, Mermaid, we share pictures in there and everything. Okay, Mary, we love you. Hi, Dawn. You're up late or you're waking up early? Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. Good night, Serene. Hi, Sarah. This is the tale of the unexpected visitors. Ike, thank you. I haven't listened to that before, but I'll have to listen. Welcome to the porch. Ethan Morales and Grant Walker were in their mid-30s, living in a rented townhouse outside Denver, trying to convince themselves that they were still the kind of men who might start a band. They had day jobs. Ethan worked in cybersecurity, and Grant freelanced in audio production, bouncing between podcasts and indie music projects. Their rehearsals happened on Tuesday nights between conference calls and grocery runs. They argued constantly about their sound. Ethan liked structure, clean builds, electronic layers, rhythm that you could map. And Grant wanted texture and atmosphere. On the night everything changed, they were in Ethan's basement studio arguing about tempo, when Ethan remembered something that he had never shown anyone. His older sister, Dr. Leila Morales, worked in satellite communications research. She had recently helped develop an experimental deep space transmission, an array nicknamed Peabody. It was a proof of concept system designed to test whether certain audio frequencies could travel further and cleaner across long-range quantum relays. The system wasn't classified in the cinematic sense, but it wasn't public either. And Ethan had temporary remote access credentials strictly for troubleshooting, not for experimentation. Thank you, Songbird. Thank you, Serge. Grant, predictably, thought it was the coolest thing he had ever heard. And within 20 minutes, they had rerouted Ethan's modular synthesizer output into a live signal path, connected to the Peabody array. Was it stupid? Yes. Was it reckless? Of course. But it was irresistible. They weren't trying to contact aliens. They weren't even trying to send a message. They just wanted to test if music could travel and if somewhere anywhere the signal might echo back. Ethan bypassed two authentication layers, and Grant played a sustained D-sharp tone. The signal transmitted, and for a moment nothing happened. But then, the system pinged. An incoming response was detected. They both assumed it was just feedback. A signal bounce, orbital debris interference. But the waveform that appeared on Ethan's monitor was not distortion. It was structured. It was intentional. Grant played the original tone again, and the response came faster this time, and closer. Over the next hour, they watched as each incoming signal registered from a shorter distance. Deep space, then outer system, then within the Kuiper belt, and then near Earth's orbit. It had gotten late, and they both forgot about dinner. So Ethan powered everything down. They laughed it off, and then they ordered takeout. And they both agreed not to tell Leila. But later that night, while Grant slept on the couch upstairs, Ethan noticed something. The Peabody terminal had powered itself back on, and a new transmission had been logged. Origin, terrestrial. Location, undetermined. And that was when the power flickered. The basement lights dimmed and returned in a strange rhythm. And not random, not electrical failure, it was patterned. From somewhere inside the walls, Ethan heard a tone that sounded like a D sharp. Then the studio monitors activated without input, and a low harmonic filled the room. It was the exact progression Grant had played earlier. Upstairs, he heard something move. He assumed it was Ethan when he heard footsteps crossing the living room. He called out casually, but no one answered. When he stood and walked toward the hallway, he noticed that the air felt pressurized almost. The smart speaker on the kitchen counter lit up, and it began repeating fragments of their melody. In the basement, Ethan's monitors displayed a new message. Proximity. Inside structure. Grant's phone vibrated with a notification from an unknown network attempting to pair. Every Bluetooth device in the house began syncing all at once. The lights dimmed again and the temperature dropped. Love you, Leslie. And then something stepped into the room. It looked like a human silhouette assembled from refracted light, as if someone had poured static into the shape of a person. It tilted its head slightly. The speakers emitted a chord. It wasn't attacking, it was trying to interact. Grant, frozen in the hallway, realized something unsettling. This being wasn't copying random things, it was responding to emotional cues embedded in the sound. Rhythm changes, tonal shifts, tension. It approached the guitar stand, and the instrument vibrated on its own. A string plucked itself. In the basement, Ethan watched as Peabody registered a second presence entering the atmosphere. Larger, faster. The silhouette in the living room paused. The air shifted again, and a deeper frequency layered over the first one. The second presence didn't manifest fully. Instead, the lights throughout the house brightened, and the speakers emitted a firm chord. The first entity recoiled slightly, and then a new tone filled the room, and Grant felt pressure in the air. The silhouette flickered, and its edges softened, and then it faded entirely, and it emitted one final tone. The monitors in the basement went dark, and every device disconnected, and silence returned to the townhouse. When Leela arrived the next morning after Ethan's frantic call, she reviewed the logs in stunned silence. Peabody had recorded 2 distinct signatures. The first matched the harmonic structure Ethan and Grant had transmitted, interpreted and reconstructed. And the second signature overrode it. It was short range, immediate recall. If the array was truly functional as designed, it might have acted as a lighthouse. And something somewhere had interpreted that pattern as an invitation. No damage had been done to the house. No physical harm had occurred. But something had visited them that night. Something that treated their music as a signal, an invitation. Grant and Ethan dismantled the basement routing that same week, and they never transmitted any chords ever again. And that's the tale of the unexpected visitors. And that's a reworking of an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Jerry. Welcome in, everybody. If you're new here, my name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all of these stories myself, and you can listen to them whenever you would like on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. That was your first time hearing that one, Justin? Yeah, I don't read that one very often. It doesn't get requested. Lady Rose goes out of her way to request ones that never get requested. So you can thank Lady Rose because she pulls all my random ones out of the woodwork for her requests. So thank you, Lady Rose. The name of that one, Rochelle, was The Unexpected Visitors, but that is an Are You Afraid of the Dark reworking, and those are live exclusives, so they only get read on the live. And again, if you guys want to see a list of all of the stories that are available, especially the live exclusives, the list is on the Discord. Thanks, Rochelle. I'm going to set up the next poll for us to vote for the next story. There's Lady Rose. Yeah, thanks. She always requests really ones that like never get requested, and I love her for that. No, Pippa, I never get tired of you guys. I literally have so much fun. I love you guys. I would miss you guys. I mean, I get tired physically, but not tired of you guys. All right, guys, if you guys could hit that share arrow while I set up the next poll. There's a yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs. Also, you can share it to your stories. You can share it to your friends in messages, all the good things. And I'll be right back with the next poll. Hi, Faye. Wee! Thanks, Don. All right, you guys, the next poll is ready. We have Poplar Creek, which is the new story of the week. We have Highway 666. We have The Phantom Ride. We have The Pine Barrens Beast. And, oh, I got a puzzle piece. And we have The Greenbrier Ghost. Okay. Had to do a puzzle piece. All right, we have, you can vote in the top left-hand corner. There is a blue box, and you can vote for more than one story, and you can vote up to 50 times. Who's it gonna be? Poplar Creek, Highway 666, The Phantom Ride, The Pine Barrens Beast, or The Greenbrier Ghost? Ooh, Poplar Creek and Highway 666 are close. Well, damn, not anymore. They were. And the winner is the new story of the week, Poplar Creek, followed by Highway 666. And then none of the other stories stood a chance. Hi, Boone. That's not true, Skrilla. Water Babies is, I would say Water Babies and the Fresno Nightcrawlers. And then you. Because Travis wins. Because people love to hate on him. Oh, really, Beefy? All right, guys, I'll be right back with the new story of the week. The Tale of Poplar Creek. Yeah, see, Beefy's in, the other Ben is in Water Babies, and it has never won. It's never won yet. So don't worry, Skrilla, yours is not the most disliked Ben story. And I have no idea why. I like the Water Babies too. I think it's pretty, but it's literally never won since the day it premiered. But that's okay. Well, Hug and Molly's not hated anymore though, James. She wins a lot lately. Mackenzie said, be right back. Goatman is calling. Yeah, Goatman doesn't win a lot either. She's right. You guys are so cute. Oh, Nick, are you and your girlfriend long distance? Oh, yeah, I remember you. I forgot for a second. I'm sorry. I forgot. You said I sound like your girlfriend, right? I forgot. I forgot. And you come in here because you miss her. It's really cute. How far away do you guys live from each other again? Three millimeters? I don't think I'm reading that right. Oh, that's okay. Welcome back, Solange. Hi, Sherry. Yeah, Spooky. I'm like, Spooky Cabins. I'm like, that can't be right. Three months, falling in love at 45 years old. I don't think you're ever too old to fall in love. I don't think age really has anything to do with falling in love. I think, to be honest, people who think they fall in love at 17, like, that's not love, boo-boo. That's something else. And we all know what that is. That's much different than love. I would say until about mid-20s, it's probably not much more than that. Because I don't think you know yourself enough when you're that young to even actually be in love with someone. I think what falling in love older is more authentic, because I feel like you already know who you are and you still want to choose to be with somebody, which is really sweet. Instead of like, you just got together young and now you guys have to like grow up together. You know what I mean? I don't think 45 falling in love is bad at all. I'm sorry, Rachel. Exactly, AMG. That's what I was trying to say delicately. But I'm like, we all know what that is, from like 17 to like mid-20s. They call that love, and you want to know why? Because your body tricks you into mating with people during your prime mating years. It's biology. You sure feel like you're in love when you're 18, but that is usually not what it is. I bet, Rachel. I can't even imagine. I cannot even imagine, Rachel. Yeah, Grim said round 2 for both and 24 years later. Yeah. Yeah. And you met your wife at 34. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Danny. Well, and everybody's journey is different. And I believe in like people being in your life for chapters, for seasons. So I believe that you don't just find one love. I think you can have several throughout your life that have taught you all kinds of things and helped shape you as a person. Even if they taught you like all the things you don't want, guess what? They still helped you, because they still helped you learn about yourself and the things you like and don't like. So I feel like love doesn't just come by one. Like, even if you're divorced, you loved them at some point. You know what I mean? And they helped shape you, and they led you on a path that, you know, to find the next person. Like, so I still kind of feel like you can find it lots of times. And I don't think age matters. I think it depends on the chapter you're looking for. And yes, AMG, you're right. Some hurt more than others. I'll tell you, the ones that hurt the most are the ones when you're the one that blew it. Those actually hurt way more. People think it hurts worse when you get hurt, but no. It hurts worse when you hurt yourself. And yes, Boone, I still do. That's awesome, Beefy, yeah. But at 19 and 24, do you feel like you knew yourselves at all? Rachel, same. Okay, I'll be right back with the next story. I agree with you, Nick, completely. Timing, experience, and luck, yeah. I definitely don't think it really has an age. You know, some people, like my best friend Chelsea, the one in the story, she has been with her, like they've been together since high school. And they literally have the most adorable romantic love I've ever seen in my life. And they've literally like never known like another person, but like they've never really been with anybody else. And you would think that would be like, but somehow they have like the cutest relationships, like best friends. So it depends, you know, it can work out for people who find each other super young. And she has literally never had to worry about being alone her entire life. And yeah, it's sickening. She has never known that anxiety of not ever finding your person, because she has literally had him by her side since she was 16. So I will also say she gives the worst dating advice I've ever heard in my life, because she has no idea what she's talking about. And she's a genius. She's brilliant. But when it comes to, she gives the worst dating advice I've ever heard in my life. She was like, well, you know what? You just need to wait until you, and like she has all these really, really delusional expectations for things. And I'm like, girl, that's because you and guess what? Here's the funniest, weirdest part is, yes, my best friend's husband's name is Devin. And her best friend's name is Devin. And yeah, it's really weird because that's not very common. It's not a common name. So his name is Devin too. So when I reference Devin, don't think I'm talking about myself. But so I'll be like, yeah, well, that's because you've literally known Devin for 40 years. Like what the, like not really, but like, you know, 25 years or something. Like what? I know, we joked that we should have a reality show. Yeah, exactly, Stacey. You're so thankful you found your person, right? And so that kind of relief is one of those like major life things that you kind of like weighs on you for a while, you know? And so I was always like, dude, like I can't imagine going through life already being like, yep, I'm a person. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, because they always like, even when they were like broke in college, they shared rent and like, I don't know. You know what I mean? They really got through everything together. And it was like, so I will say that being young and in love isn't bad. I just think that a lot of people don't know who they are yet. She's just a very rare occurrence. She's just a very rare instance. You married a guy named Devin 2 months ago, Hillary? It's literally like Boy Meets World, girl. I'm not even kidding. Here's the craziest part is in Boy Meets World, didn't one of them like live with the other one because her husband ended up living with her family in high school because his parents, it was a whole thing. And so like they like, yeah. Yep, it was yep, see, it really is like Boy Meets World because Devin ended up living with her. And they turned their barn into like his room for a while because he had like family stuff going on. So your sister's name is Devin? Oh, okay. Yeah, Robin, that's okay. It looks like I think he fell asleep on his keyboard because Rich never types stuff like that. So he fell asleep on his keyboard. So yeah, muting him is fine because he probably doesn't want to embarrass himself. And I definitely think he fell asleep because those aren't even like letters that make sense. And he is usually very engaged in the chat. So thank you for letting me know. And he's probably asleep, which is really cute. Oh, he fell asleep. Yeah, because he was probably tapping. I have fallen asleep tapping before, and I typed nonsense into somebody's life. When Paulo used to go late night, I've done that before. Aw, Rich, good night. Sweet dreams. I know, I am. Why am I doing that? Why am I doing that? I was trying. Oh, don't worry, Robin. It's just for the rest of the live. He won't be muted next live. When you mute someone, it's not blocking. It just mutes them for that live. Yeah, why was I doing that? I was like, okay, you guys, he's asleep. Like, everybody in here's asleep. You did once, and you had the letter D imprinted on your forehead. And from what? What was the D from? Oh, Marcus, I turned those off. I figured out how to turn that off. I love that, Hillary. Yeah, Robin, thanks. Robin just muted her first person. I'm alive. Good job, Robin. And she did it in a kind way, because it wasn't even a troll. It was one of our lovely porch pals who's passed out on his keyboard. Good job, Robin. Skrilla, who says I want to? Yeah, sweet dreams, Rich. She says takes a bow. Good night, songbird. Sweet dreams. Bravo, Robin. I literally did that in Paulo's live once. And I also came up accidentally as a guest in Paulo's live when I was asleep. And it was really embarrassing. Because she could just hear like my sheets crumpling around. That was it. Like, it's not like I don't snore or anything, thank God. But it was literally like, yeah, because she was like, oh, Devin wants to come up. Oh, yeah. And like she came up and I was like, and she like was like, I think she's asleep. And the next morning she texted me. I was like, what? I didn't come in your life. She's like, yeah, you did. I let you up. And I was like, oh no. Because she said that little box on the screen with a plus sign. And if you're trying to tap and you fall asleep, you know how easy it is to hit that? You snore, Stacy? You should get that checked out. Snoring is actually a indication of a health issue, and people just think it's normal and they ignore it. But you should actually get it checked out if you snore. And I know everybody's like, oh, I'm old, everybody snores. Yeah, and everybody has like heart attacks and stuff. So check it out if you're snoring, because it is actually an indication of several different things. Yep, it could be sleep apnea, it could be a heart issue, it could be something as like a septum, deviated septum. It could be, there's a lot of different things that could cause it. Yeah, and for sure, yeah, sleep apnea though is still caused by, right? By like health issues. That like a lot of, like, I had a friend who had apnea and he got nose surgery and it fixed it. Like, he could actually breathe out of his whole nose. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, that's what it is, the deviated septum. You have a slight apnea. See, what causes that? You've had apnea your whole life, Stacy? Really? Damn. Well, so if you already know why you snore, then that's that. But if you don't, you should get it checked out and make sure. Because you don't want to like not realize that you have something like apnea, or, you know what I mean? So if you already know what it is, that's cool. But if you just snore, and I know so many people who think it's just normal, and I'm like, have you ever get that checked out? Like, no. And by so many people, I'm talking about guys. Just throwing it out there. Robin, oh, Robin. Medications can do it too. Oh. It's blood pressure related. Yes, Nate. And that's what I was saying with the heart and the blood pressure. Yes, absolutely. But as long as you know, because my stepdad has had nothing but like, he has one of those machines, the Z-PAPs, and he has had just constant tests issue for years. We went through everything we could find and ended up being a heart thing. And like it ended up like if we hadn't kept looking into it, I don't, because they ended up putting a pacemaker in and stuff. Oh, thank you, Joe. That's so sweet. Marcus, I do the same thing. That's so funny that you say that. I do the same thing sometimes. Not a lot, but I do giggle, which I feel like is really creepy. Like if I was sleeping next to somebody and they started giggling, I'd be freaked out. I'd be like, what the fuck? But that was like back when I think that was back when I used to have like dreams, because I haven't had dreams in a long time. She was terrified. Yeah, I bet. Oh, really, Shadow? A neuro issue, laughing in the sleep? No, it's not. It's from reacting to dreams. She said you would talk the whole night and laugh. That's so funny. Yeah, no, I don't do it a lot, but I have done it in the past. Your mom cackles in her sleep and it's scary as fuck. That is scary. I was told that mine was just like a just like a little giggle, like randomly sometimes. And they'd be like, what? What is she laughing about? Yeah, Stacy. Yeah, and it's supposed to be a reaction to dreams, but I haven't done it in a long time, and that's because I don't have dreams anymore. Kim says I cuss in my sleep. That doesn't surprise me. Yeah, because I'm remembering Justin's dancer names. That's why. All right, guys, I'll be right back with the tale of Poplar Creek. That's a very good point, Skrilla. I only sleptwalked once in my life, and I was 12 years old. And it was like the worst time for me to possibly do it. We were moving to North Carolina, and we were staying at a red roofed motel with a giant moving truck in like an unfamiliar random place off the highway. And I straight up walked out of my room in my like nightgown or something, wandered down the stairs, like outdoor motel type shit, and then wandered all around, woke up, like snapped out of it by the ice machine, freaking out, and I went running around crying, banging on every door, looking for my parents' room because I didn't know what room it was. And my parents found me, and they were like, what the hell are you doing? I was like, I don't know. And it was so scary. And then I never did it again. It was the weirdest shit ever. It was like something overtook my body for a little bit, and then I snapped out of it, and then I was like, and I've never ever had that happen since or before it. Just once. And it was wild. Get out of my dreams. Robin, you can just put them on the D chord. Right, Shadow, but that one wasn't even, I mean, I guess it, I don't really, sleepwalking is not really considered paranormal, but it was weird and it never happened again. And it just went, but then I read that like it can happen when you're in times of uncertainty or stressed out. And that was the first time I ever moved in my life. I don't know if that's a good thing, Skrilla. A cord? A cord. Cords don't have much girth, do they? Oh, really, Stacy? Yeah, I read an article about it in Psychology Today. Kim. I knew Kim was going to let that one slide. Stacy, thanks for the cozy cryptids. Shadow, I make them all. Wee! Thanks, Snow White. Thanks, Stacy. Wee! Here we go. Ready? Wee! 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 You. He's so cute. Hi, Mothman. Guys, the man, the myth, the legend himself. The man, the myth, the moth. Mothman is here. Hi, how you doing, Spooky? Thank you, Joe. That's so sweet. Hi, Mothy. Mothy also writes in code words. Oh, plugin. I don't know what that means. Yeah, Zaddy's here. See, Dossi Tutu. He writes like a moth because he doesn't know how to type, he said. But when I come into his live, he gets very giddy. It's pretty cute. He gets very giddy and his little mothy wings start fluttering. Is it Tracy? Are you on it right now? Do you need help? Oh wait, never mind. Somebody else mentioned it. I just thought that was a random comment. I was like, are you okay? Now I get it. Robin mentioned it. Okay. Stacy, you like the Zaddy sticker? Isn't it funny? I'm so glad, Court. You're a nurse and your elderly residents go crazy. Really, Tracy? Ooh, that's creepy. You just got back from the fair, Sasha? We had our fair this week and our air quality was so bad they canceled it. So that's fun. Yeah, Shadow, it is a family here. We're one big happy family. My favorite food or dinner plate of all time, like if I had to pick a meal before I die, it would be the cookout pulled pork sandwich with slaw and Texas Pete and bullet-shaped hush puppies with a sweet tea. Or Skrilla. I'm just kidding. That's right, Tracy. And it's got to be the vinegar-based barbecue pulled pork. I don't want that northern slathered in ketchupy sauce. Exactly, Kim. Ew. You know, I went to Georgia, a cookout in Georgia when I was filming a movie there, and I just ordered it, and they had a little thing on their sign that said, you have to ask for it Carolina style. Excuse me. I grew up in the town where cookout was founded. That's cookout style. You should have to ask for it Georgia style. Are you kidding? So I pull up. I haven't had cookout in forever. I'm so stoked that I get to stay for a month and eat as much as I want. And I get back, and I get back to my Airbnb, and I'm like, hee, and it's full of fucking barbecue sauce. Yeah, Leslie, exactly. She says, may my lips never taste northern barbecue. You are correct. It is horrible. Horrible. And I was like, what? And I threw it away. And you know, that's like a sacrilege of barbecue, but it was it was bad. And I was like, I don't even like this. Like, if I'm going to have the calories, and you put coleslaw on top of a wet, sauced up pork, Lord. And that's where my Southern comes out. I'm like, mercy. This is going in the trash. This is going in the wastebasket right now. Goodbye. And then you know what I did? I drove right back to that cookout and reordered it again. And did I get myself 2 milkshakes because I had to make a second trip? Yeah, I did. I sure did. Right, Leslie? She said, may my lips never taste northern barbecue. So yeah, that's my favorite meal of all time is North Carolina pulled pork with vinegar-based slaw and Texas Pete. Because fun fact, Texas Pete is also made where I grew up. It is not from Texas. It's from North Carolina. Look it up. And yes, Stacy, good. I have never had a good barbecue when I lived in California. I never did. But you know what I didn't have? I did have amazing sushi, and there was a place in Marina Del Rey where this guy trucked in catfish from Louisiana, and he didn't freeze it. It came every day in trucks, and it was called Papa or Uncle Daro's, and it was the best catfish I could find in California. It was so good. It was because he was Southern. Yeah, Kim. No, she was saying you can't find any out there. They don't even have, California doesn't have barbecue. She was saying you can't find like a restaurant out there. They don't have like a California style. They don't have it. Chick-fil-A? I don't know. Yeah, exactly, Pippa. Texas Pete on barbecue. And I'm not even like I can't handle spice. That's why Texas Pete is perfect. It's not too spicy. Yeah, Stacy. I just don't even think California has one. Like certain regions have, like some people like, Kansas City barbecue. Some people like Memphis barbecue, right? There's battling barbecues. I understand that North Carolina style is not everybody's favorite, but I don't think there is a California style. Is there? Sorry, Matt. Sorry. Yeah, Memphis barbecue. Yeah, see, so there's different styles, but Carolina style is my favorite. But it's also mustard based with vinegar based coleslaw. And like it has to have coleslaw on it. Yeah, sorry. Tri-tip, Rachel? Okay. Okay. But I feel like the best steaks I ever had in my life were in California. So there's that. Scarlett said barbecue tofu. Pretty much. Rachel, you like KC barbecue? Yeah, everybody has their own taste. That's why I said like, but like, it's still like the competition with the southern style barbecues. I've never heard California, and I've never heard of like a northern style barbecue. The north has pizza on lock. I will say that. Yeah, Texas barbecue isn't too bad. But Texas, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Tex-Mex. Like, just keep it separate. I want my queso white. Why the hell is it orange? The fuck is that, Velveeta? You know? So I'd rather just have real Mexican food and then like real like American Southwestern food. Like keep them separate, please. Dear God. Because that's in Texas, I had a hard time finding Mexican places that weren't Tex-Mex. And I was like, if I see one more orange bowl of queso, I'm gonna scream. If that queso isn't white, I'm not eating there. And that became my thing, was if they didn't have white queso, I wasn't gonna go there. Because Exactly, Leslie. Do not bring me that orange cheese. Like, I had some of the best Mexican food in my life when I lived in North Carolina, surprisingly. North Carolina had great Mexican food. But Texas, it was just so much Tex-Mex that I was like, dude, come on. No bueno. No, I mean, the food in Texas was incredible. I gained so much weight when I lived there between the barbecue and the Mexican food. There was still good food. It was just harder to find it. And it wasn't like, it just depends if you like Tex-Mex or not. But the barbecue is good. The barbecue's real good. But I got brisket when I lived in Texas. I wasn't messing with the pork in Texas. They're all about the brisket. And they do a good job of it. Woo! Thank you, Penny. Anyway, I could literally talk about barbecue all night. So to answer your question, friend, I love barbecue. That would be my favorite dish. 20 minutes later. Yeah, brisket's amazing too. Love brisket. But I just love slaw. Like, it's gotta have the slaw on the sandwich. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, what is this Tostitos ass dip? I know, Lady Rose, because people always ask. People always bring it up. Somebody literally asked me what's my favorite meal or plate. Devin, let's get married. I'm a pro with a smoker. Every guy in Ohio is a pro with a smoker, I think. I love street tacos. Some are made with brisket and yes, Tracy. One of my favorite street tacos is a pulled pork one, and it has like a mango peach slaw on it or something, a salsa and slaw on it. It is good. It is so good. Hello, Tax, or Zen Tax. Hello. Oh, there we go. Everyone's favorite street taco. Nick, what? What about the electric chair? I actually love barbacoa. Oh, Skrilla. I love barbacoa. It's really good. Oh, thanks. All right, guys, quick swig and I'll be right back with the tale of Poplar Creek. Exactly, Matt. And if the hush puppies are around, get them out of here. Get them out of my face. If your hush puppies look like a ball, get those northern hush puppies out of my face. If they aren't shaped like a bullet. What's another word for that I could say that's not going to get me in trouble? If they aren't shaped like a... Well, I don't want to say that either. I don't know. If they aren't shaped like a little egg, kind of. There you go, Rochelle. Kind of like an egg. You don't know what hush puppies are? Oh, yeah, you're Canadian. Oh, my God, you poor thing. Yeah, kind of like a football, maybe, Mackenzie. See, Mary, I was going to say a rabbit turd. I was like, that's not a good thing to compare them to. But if your hush puppies are round, the dough to crispy ratio is not right. It's got to be shaped like a bee ullet or a blimp. There you go, Mary. Or it's just not right, Lady Rose. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. If you're from the South, you know what I'm talking about. And I can tell right away if they're like, I don't know, northern hush puppies. I'm like, people be like, do you like hush puppies? I'm like, yes, I love them. And then they'll bring those out. I'm like, actually, I'm not even that hungry. Thanks anyway. Because like, I'm not going to eat the calories if it's going to be subpar. Like, I'll just, no thanks. Don't ruin hush puppies for me. Me too, Rachel. Rochelle, it's because you drop them in the oil, not roll them. Wait, what? Exactly, AMG. Nikki, where are you from again? Yeah, Tracy, hush puppies are shoes too. Oh, okay, that makes sense. You're in Pennsylvania. Yeah, okay. So they're not even really a northern food, but hush puppies are delicious flavored fried bread balls. But they're not good when they're balls. They're good when they're shaped like a bee ullet. We call them bee ullet puppies. So like, yeah, kind of like a Tic Tac shape, but bigger. And they're not always cornbread though, but they can be cornbread. And they're basically like, I don't know, they're kind of flavored like stuffing. They're kind of flavored with like herbs, and then they're fried, and they're like a side dish. Like instead of fries, I always get hush puppies when I'm in the South. Like I'm like, no thanks, I'll take hush puppies instead, please. It's not really an oval though. It's like, no, it's not really an oval. It's like kind of like a pill shape. Yeah, Fitzy. I'm about to right now. No, I hope your testicles aren't that shape. Oh, good job, Archangelo. But haven't you spent a lot of time in Louisiana? It's a savory fried dough. Yep. It's delicious. Highly recommend. And you should give them a goog. If you haven't, and look them up. They're so good. Yes, Nikki, now it's your mission. Yes. Find some. And hey, even if you find the ball-shaped ones, it's better than nothing for your first time to try them. because those are the first ones I ever had, were the ball ones. And then I had the other ones, and I was like, damn. Well, because people are saying that it's a different shape. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to say be ullet. Yeah, Stacy, exactly. Who said their testes were shaped like a hush puppy? Yeah. I don't even remember now. Scroll up, you'll find it. Spooky said, I'll give these hush puppies a goog. You guys should. They're so good. Hi, Scarlett. And Pig Latin Ullet Bay. There you go. Tracy, you are. Mythos said your mom used to have full conversations with her dad while she was asleep. I love that. Yeah, slush puppies are great too. Tracy. Oh. Beefy, that would make sense. That would be logical. That he was saying hush puppies are testes, but those are mountain oysters. Spooky Kevin's like, hey, we do have slush puppies in Canada. Good night, Mary. We love you. Sweet dreams. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of Poplar Creek. Why, Tracy, were you going to pee your pants from laughing? Thank you, Lady Rose. Last June, I received an email inviting me to spend an entire week in a place called Poplar Creek. I couldn't believe it. Someone had discovered my channel. The subject line read, "We love your folklore content. Come experience the real Appalachia." The email explained that Poplar Creek was trying to revive tourism after decades of economic decline. They were inviting a handful of content creators to stay free of charge in exchange for making content showcasing to our audiences what their little holler has to offer. The offer included accommodations at a restored historical cabin, free meals, guided tours, and unrestricted access to historic sites that were normally closed to the public. It honestly sounded like my dream trip. I searched for Poplar Creek online, and there wasn't much. An outdated town website, a Facebook page that hadn't been updated in 6 years, a few photographs showing brick storefronts beneath huge oak trees, Everything looked charming. And to be honest, I'm not at the point yet where I can really afford to travel to all those spooky locations for content like I'd like to. Yet. And this was my first brand collaboration offer with all expenses paid. I was just feeling really proud of myself and appreciative for the recognition of my passion and hard work. So this felt like a sign from the universe that this content creating path was actually working out. So I accepted the offer. Hi, CJ. It took almost 8 hours to reach the town. The interstate gave way to a 2-lane highway, which eventually turned into winding mountain roads. Eventually, even my GPS stopped working. But someone had anticipated that. And I started to see hand-painted wooden signs every few miles. Welcome, content creators. This way to Poplar Creek, with arrows leading the way. How quaint and cute. I'm definitely going to love this place. When I finally rounded the last bend, I smiled. It looked beautiful. Fresh flower boxes hung beneath every window. The courthouse clock chimed noon. Families walked between antique stores carrying ice cream cones. It felt like stepping into another era. Almost immediately, people started waving at me. And not just politely, like they already knew who I was. Everyone seemed genuinely excited that I had come. And it was hard to wrap my head around the fact that these people recognized me and were fans of my work. But their reception to my arrival made me feel like a queen. In the town square, they introduced me to a few other content creators that had been invited. They seemed to be other creators whose channels had just started to take off, so we were all new to this whole experience. There was a guy who was a food content creator there to film content about the restaurants. And there was a girl who was an outdoor adventure content creator who was going to showcase the Appalachian wilderness in the area. And then there was me, the folklorist and spooky storyteller. Rachel. They all seemed nice. And we wished each other a good week of content. And then we all split up to be escorted to our own cabins. My cabin was extremely remote. There wasn't even an established road to get to it. Just a dirt trail that my car barely cleared. It sat surrounded by forest, overlooking a creek, and it was beautiful. There was a wraparound porch, and inside there was a stone fireplace, old quilts, and fresh flowers on the kitchen table. Someone had even stocked the refrigerator. God, I've missed Southern hospitality like this. The first 3 days were wonderful. I filmed old haunted caves, historic cemeteries, an abandoned mine, and railroad tunnel. And then I realized that I hadn't encountered any of the other creators yet. Which was a little odd, but we were kind of off the grid, so I figured our paths just hadn't crossed yet. Everywhere I went, a local offered another story. Every resident seemed eager to tell me about the town's history and folklore. And I noticed that one thing kept coming up. They were incredibly proud that nobody ever left Poplar Creek. Families had lived there for generations. Children grew up, married neighbors, and raised children of their own, all within that small little holler. Nobody ever leaves Poplar Creek. Everyone smiled when they said it. Kinda creepy if you ask me. By the fourth morning, I had decided to explore somewhere off the beaten path. Somewhere nobody had recommended. An overgrown logging road that I had noticed leading into the woods behind my cabin. About half a mile in, I found something unexpected. A camera, broken, half buried beneath the leaves. Yeah, AMG. Not old enough to have been there for very long. The camera wasn't salvageable, but maybe the footage someone was trying to film would still be intact. I grabbed the SD card and I took it back to the cabin with me. The card was still readable, and when I opened the files, it was footage of the girl I had met earlier in the week, the outdoor adventure creator. I scrolled through her raw footage, and she had spent several days happily exploring Poplar Creek. But then the recordings changed. Her videos became erratic and paranoid. They were all of her, very close to the camera, whispering about how people were following her. She described how her cabin had been searched while she was in town, and how her rental car wouldn't start. The final clip lasted only 12 seconds. The camera was shaking violently as she showed a view of her running through the woods. Multiple inadequate flashlight beams filled the trees behind her as she ran in tears. Then the recording ended suddenly with someone grabbing the camera and throwing it to the ground. That was it. No explanation. Hi, Fowls. What? I drove straight into town. I intended to get gas, stock up on some snacks, and then leave immediately. But after filling up my car at the gas station, it wouldn't start. The town mechanic checked it out, and he just happens to be attached to said gas station, and he calmly explained that the distributor had somehow failed overnight. But he said that he could have the part after the weekend. Then he told me that by the time he got the part in, I wouldn't even be worried about leaving Poplar Creek. Okay, weirdo. Great. I was stranded and freaking out. After that, I instantly became hyper aware of my surroundings, and I started to notice other strange things. The same old pickup truck drove past my cabin every single evening 3 times. Exactly 3 times. One afternoon, I returned from town and immediately knew that someone had been inside the cabin. Nothing had been stolen, but I could tell that everything had been touched. My suitcase had been unzipped. My notebook that I left closed on the coffee table was now open on the kitchen counter, like someone had been reading my notes. That night, I couldn't sleep. The next morning, I hiked back to where I found the camera. but this time I kept going. There you go, Rachel. The logging road eventually ended at an old quarry. Hidden behind stacks of broken stone were 6 small cabins. So I decided to investigate. Good night, CJ. Inside each cabin, I found abandoned bags and suitcases, full of not just clothing, but tripods, ring lights, cameras, batteries, phones, laptops, and iPads. Thousands of dollars worth of creator equipment just left, along with all of their other belongings. Oh my God, what kind of sick game is this? And that's when I heard, CJ, stop that. And that's when I heard trucks approaching. I ducked behind an overturned loader while 4 men climbed out. They carried rifles. I immediately recognized one of them as the mechanic who looked at my car. Another was the man who had checked me into my cabin. They began searching the cabins one by one. After a while, one of the men pointed toward the woods, toward where I was hiding. I didn't wait. I just ran like hell. I spotted an old coal conveyor stretching across a ravine, half collapsed. So I crawled underneath it just as headlights swept over the hillside. They spread out below me. Flashlights cut through the darkness. I figured if I just hide here perfectly still and quiet until daylight, I should be able to run and find help. But then I realized they had dogs with them. I could hear their barking echoing through the valley. My heart nearly stopped. I inched across the rusted steel framework until I reached the opposite side. And then one support beam loudly snapped beneath me. The noise drew every flashlight up toward me. And they saw me. Thank you, John. Without thinking, I just slid down the rest of the way and I hit the ground pretty hard. But I scrambled to my feet and I just kept running. Branches whipped my face. I lost one of my shoes crossing a creek. Sherry, right? Exactly. But I just kept moving. I could hear the dogs getting closer. And then I saw railroad tracks. Active tracks. And then I saw a freight train rounding the bend. And without even thinking, I just sprinted beside it and I grabbed a ladder. And somehow I pulled myself aboard. It must have been adrenaline because I didn't even know I had that kind of upper body strength, to be honest. I held on for dear life to the side of that train as it carried me out of that terrifying valley. The last thing I saw was nearly 30 people with rifles standing beside the tracks, watching me get away. State police returned with me 2 days later, and Poplar Creek was exactly where I'd left it. The town existed, the people existed, the cabins existed, Thank you, disease. But the townspeople insisted that I had become confused while hiking after suffering dehydration and a head injury from falling. I did not fall. The mechanic produced repair records showing that my car had never been touched. The innkeeper showed signed paperwork claiming that I had officially checked out voluntarily. Every single resident told exactly the same story. They were all in on it. And without evidence, there wasn't a case. A month later, I uploaded a video explaining my terrifying encounter in the town of Poplar Creek as a warning to other creators. But instead, it sparked a major rush in content creators going to Poplar Creek to try and document their own experiences in what was deemed the holler from hell. Then, about 6 months later, I received an email. Subject line: "Thanks for making Poplar popular again." The email read, "Dear content creator, thank you for the publicity and bringing so much attention to our humble little holler. We've already invited next year's batch of creators, and only one will win the title of next year's tourism ambassador." And that's the tale of Poplar Creek. Good night, Connor. Sweet dreams. Thank you guys. I'm glad you liked it. I thought it was fun and different. And I'm apparently the only one that survived. Hi, First Light. All right, guys, you know what time it is. Get ready for Sycamore Diner. It's grilled cheese time. And if you love grilled cheese, you might as well make one now, because you're going to be craving one by the end of this story. Also, feel free to hit the repost and share your stories one more time. And thank you for tapping. Happy Friday. I love that, Rachel. Thank you, Matt. Thank you so much for the fireworks. Hi, user. Thank you, Justin. Thanks, Puerto Rican Shorty. Thanks, Sherry. Thanks, Hazel Eyes. Wee! Thanks, Sherry. Well, Serene, if you can't fall asleep during the live, head on over to my YT channel. I have a whole playlist over there called Bedtime Stories, and you'll probably be out by the second story, I promise. It's the place to go if you really want to pass out. Yeah, Serene, I promise it'll help. I just read those stories live over here for like community, but the playlist over there, the bedtime stories, puts most of the porch pals to sleep. So give it a whirl. If you just hit like shuffle or play all and loop it, it'll play all night. Yeah, right, Brianna. Yeah, Brianna says I always pass out in the best possible way. Yeah, the YT even makes me fall asleep. It's very great. Yeah, exactly, Matt. Ooh, coyotes. I love coyotes. You should tell him hi. I'm glad, Shadow. Sherry says I hit shuffle and make it through 1.5 stories. Me too. To my own. It puts me asleep. Scarlet, they're not a nuisance. It's their home. They're not a nuisance. It's their natural habitat. Spooky said, unless it's something imitating a coyote. Like what? Like what? Yeah, I love hearing them in Pinelme too. They're so cute. And when I lived in Hollywood, they used to like walk with me in my car. And like everybody's scared of them. They like literally don't do anything. They're so cute. They're so like, they aren't really trying to like most animals aren't trying to mess with humans unless it's like a battle to death. Unless they have to. Yeah, they do go after dogs, but again, it's it's their territory, so you have to like keep your dog close by, you know what I mean? It's like that's just kind of part of nature. That's why when I lived in LA, I never let my cats out at all. I know dogs you have to, so they go to the bathroom, but I never let my cats out. My friend Cammie let her cats out, and 2 of them were taken by coyotes. Oh yeah, Scarlet. Yep, that makes really good. But we do that in the winter here for like little safety huts. It's insulated, so it keeps them warm. They love it. You can also do it with like those big like storage tubs. Yep, exactly. You're so right. Yep. By the way, how's your little kitty baby? How's your kitty baby? I can't believe that you did that with a rat trap. That's my favorite story ever. Scarlet is such a badass. She stole a rat trap from someone's yard, ran it home because she heard it meowing, and then like jaws of life that thing open, sawed it open, and there was a baby kitten inside. And then she named her Haint. It's the second porch lore kitten that we've had named like in the last month. We have Lore and Haint now, little kittens. And I'm like, Scarlet, you're a badass. I would have done the same thing. I would have grabbed that rat trap and ran like hell. She posted the pictures on Discord if anybody wants to look at them. I know, the poor baby. The vet was like, wait, what's her name? You're like, a little Heint. It's true, Rachel. It's true. When it comes to animals, yep. Oh my god, that would be such a great name, Matt. Zaddy. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. Aw, Andrew, I love that. Yeah, we all rescue animals. That's so cute. I rescued Merlin too. It's literally the best decision I've ever made in my life. Hi, Sherry. Thank you, Mango. I'm not usually the kind of person who pulls over on back roads at night. Not unless I absolutely have to. But that night, something about the storm, the long drive, and that growling pit in my stomach convinced me otherwise. I was hungry. It was late October, and I was headed back to campus after a weekend visit with my friends in North Carolina. I had a midterm on Monday, and my plan had been to drive straight through. 5 hours, no stops. Scarlet. I love that. She said, grab me a beer, I'm about to steal this thing. But then came the rain. One of those cold, slanted, whispery rains that creeps into your bones and makes the windshield wipers sound like a heartbeat. I had taken the wrong exit trying to bypass traffic, and I ended up on a 2-lane back road, surrounded by nothing but pine trees and power lines. And that was when I saw the neon sign. SYCAMRE Diner. The O in Sycamore was flickering like it hadn't worked right in years. But the rest was lit up in a cherry red neon. A tiny beacon in the middle of nowhere. Oh, I love smoky provolone, yum. Yeah, could you imagine, Justin? I figured I'd grab a quick bite. Yeah, where kitties? Where kitties? I figured I'd grab a quick bite, maybe some coffee, check my map, and get back on the highway. But I should have just kept driving. I should have known something was off the second I stepped inside. The bell over the door jingled, but not like a normal bell. It made this sharp, metallic ping that echoed longer than it should have. The air inside was warm, almost too warm, and it smelled like grilled onions and pancake syrup. The place looked like it had been yanked straight from 1957. Checkerboard floor, red vinyl booths, a long counter with spinning stools, even a jukebox in the corner that looked like it hadn't worked in decades. And the people, they all stopped and looked at me the second I walked in. Not in a rude way, just quiet, like they weren't expecting me. Like I had walked into the middle of a sentence that no one wanted to finish. A waitress, tall, with a beehive hairdo and a light blue uniform, smiled and waved me over. "You get caught in the rain, sweetheart," she said, handing me a laminated menu. I nodded, still trying to shake off that weird feeling. Yeah, the highway's a mess. She chuckled and patted my shoulder. "Well, you're safe here. Sycamore's always open for travelers." I sat down at a corner booth. The vinyl creaked, and I remember the jukebox shifted songs by itself and started playing some slow doo-wop ballad that I didn't recognize. I looked around and everyone looked normal, sort of. There was a trucker with a thick gray beard drinking coffee at the counter. A young couple whispering to each other in a booth by the jukebox. And an older woman stirring tea like she was lost in thought. But they all had the same look in their eyes. Like they were there, but also somewhere else. Like they were watching me out of the corner of their eyes, even when they were looking down. The waitress came back with coffee, strong, hot, and surprisingly good. And I ordered a grilled cheese with fries. Simple, safe. She wrote it down with one of those clicky pens and said, "Don't worry, it's on the house tonight." And that was my second red flag. No diner just gives food away. While I waited, I took out my phone to check the map. No signal, and I mean nothing. No bars, no Wi-Fi, not even GPS. Just a blank screen with a spinning wheel. I glanced out the foggy window, and the storm was still going, but now the wind picked up. I could see the power lines swaying like jump ropes in the dark. But the diner stayed perfectly lit, not even a flicker. The food came fast, too fast, like under 5 minutes. But it looked amazing. Golden bread, gooey cheese, crispy fries with a little metal cup of ketchup on the side. I took a bite. Delicious. I mean, I've eaten at a lot of diners, greasy spoons, college joints, and roadside shacks, but this was hands down the best grilled cheese I've ever had. The fries were perfect, and the coffee never ran out. Every time I took a sip, it was somehow full again. I was halfway through the sandwich when the trucker got up to leave. He walked right past my table, nodded once and whispered, "Don't stay past midnight." That's all he said. Just that. What? But he was already out the door. The waitress gave me a tight smile and walked over, collecting his empty mug. Old Earl, he's always saying weird stuff. Just ignore him. But I couldn't. Something about his voice stuck with me. Something about the way he looked at me. Not like I was a customer, but like I was in danger. I checked the clock over the register. 11:42. I figured I had just enough time to finish my fries, grab the check, and head out. I still had at least 3 hours left on the road. But when I stood up, the lights flickered just once and then again. And then everything in the diner stopped moving. The couple by the jukebox froze mid-sentence. The woman with the tea stopped stirring, her spoon hanging in midair. The waitress, her hand reached out for a mug, just stopped. Like someone had paused on the entire scene. I took a step back. The jukebox buzzed, glitched, and restarted a new track. I could still move, but no one else could. And then I heard it. Not music, not a storm, a voice. Not coming from anyone I could see. Just a whisper that seemed to echo from the walls themselves. I backed toward the door, my heart hammering in my chest, and I turned the knob. It was locked. Of course it was locked. I tried the windows, but they were sealed shut. I started banging on the glass and shouting, but no one was outside. Just wind and rain and that flickering red sign. SYCAMRE. I turned back toward the dining room, and everyone was gone. The booths were empty. No plates, no crumbs, no mugs. No sign that anyone had ever been there. Except for my plate, still warm and still half-eaten. And then I saw the waitress. She was standing by the kitchen doors, her silhouette backlit by flickering fluorescent light. Her face was wrong. The smile, the same smile, but her eyes were empty, black and endless, like someone had painted over them. "You shouldn't be here, honey," she said in that same cheerful voice. "Not yet." I stumbled back, knocking over a chair as she took one slow step toward me. "The others, they were waiting, but you just wandered in." She raised a hand, and the walls began to shimmer. Literally shimmer. Like heat waves on asphalt. The checkered floor rippled, and the red booths started to fade, becoming outlines and then shadows and then nothing. And I saw it, underneath the illusion. It was charred wood, cracked tile, broken beams, and black soot. Like the diner had burned down long ago. I ran. I don't even remember how I got out. One second I was inside, and the next I was on the side of the road, soaked to the bone and gasping for air. My car was still there, parked on gravel that didn't even look like a lot anymore. Just weeds and puddles. No neon sign, No glowing windows, just nothing. I drove back to campus that night in silence. No music, no Porch Lore podcast. I kept glancing in the rearview mirror, half expecting to see that red neon flicker back to life. I didn't tell anyone, not for weeks. Not until I finally looked up Sycamore Diner on a local history site. And I found it. It burned to the ground in 1972. A gas leak. The whole place went up at midnight. And everyone inside was killed. 5 patrons, a waitress, and a cook. The photo in the article? The same checkerboard floor. The same red booths. The same neon sign. SYCAMORE. And in the corner of the photo, that same waitress, smiling. I never took that back road again. I don't even drive at night anymore if I can help it. And every time I see a neon diner sign, something in me flinches just a little. Because I know I was there. And I know I wasn't supposed to be. But the part that keeps me up sometimes, the part that really makes my stomach turn, that was the best damn grilled cheese I've ever had. And I didn't even pay for it. And that's the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. Yes, Skrilla, I'm so hungry right now. And with that, I will say good night, Porch Pals. I love you guys so much. I will see you tomorrow for Silly Story Title Saturday. And I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your night. If you are not able to fall asleep, head on over to my YT channel and you can fall asleep to my bedtime stories playlist. Also, tomorrow, check us out over at Kim's Live. We have a lot of fun. And then I will see you guys again tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if I don't see you over the weekend, don't forget that on Monday, I premiere a new story. And you can join us to the live premiere at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my YT channel. Good night, Eric. Good night, James. Good night, Justin and Matt. Good night, Sherry and Skrilla. Good night, AMG. Good night, Kim. Good night, Brooke. Good night, Scarlett, Mackenzie. Sweet dreams, everybody. I hope you guys have a lovely night. And don't forget, stay spooky. Good night, Matt. Good night, Sharper. Good night, Jess. Good night, Scott. Sweet dreams, everybody. Stay spooky. Good night, Possum.